There's a view that quantitative models don't fully capture the qualitative factors such as the company's intrinsic value or management quality. What's your perspective on this?
The data that you mentioned are, in a sense, very much at this point commoditized, right? They're table stakes. Everybody has those data. The information is completely priced in. So if you want to make money in systematic strategies nowadays, you have to follow, different data sources and different techniques. The good old day of, for example, right, collecting insider trades, executives selling stocks and taking that as a signal that if an insider is selling stock, typically they're bearish because they're selling now. At this point, it's already priced in. So it's so we do use qualitatively a lot of the same reasoning as before, right? But both the data and the techniques have changed over time. They've become much more sophisticated. Even, let's say, the value of a company is a little bit of it's a little bit too much. In some cases, fundamental portfolio managers look at the value of the company a lot, whereas I think a systematic PM typically looks at differences in value of a company. That's important. So one thing is when you look at an absolute number, and one thing is when you look at the change in a number. So I personally, if I'm a systematic PM, I don't know that IBM is worth $300 billion or $310 billion. But what I do know is that there is a signal that is correlated to the value of the company. And I see that signal to changing from yesterday to today in one direction. So I know that the value has changed more or less in some direction. That is very different than what a fundamental PM does, which is I have the fair value of the company. It's different than the implied value, the current value of the company. And therefore I take a fundamental position and I stay there for a long time.